And good evening, and welcome to another edition of The Way I See It. My name is Ralph Williams, and we're live here on YouTube and Facebook tonight. I have a very special guest with me, with the Reverend NIKKI Porter from Eastminster Presbyterian Church in East Liberty. Reverend NIKKI, welcome to the program tonight. It's great to have you here.
Thank you, Ralph. Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. The reason I wanted to have you on tonight was talk a little bit about the praise extravaganza that went on at the last day of Heinz Field, more or less. Changed to Acrisure Stadium the next day. So, how did that go? I mean, I understand there was a lot of folks there, and it was a very nice event.
It was wonderful. It was Pittsburgh Praise, and as
Mm.
far as I know, this it was the event first time of having an event like this in over a decade, probably more years, where the saints of God, the Christians of Pittsburgh, overtake a major arena or stadium for the purpose of prayer, worship, lifting up our city, lifting up our nation. It was, thousands came out that day. I don't have the firm count. You'd have to check in with the folks that organized to find that. But just to see us taking over what was then Heinz Field for the purpose of really having a joint worship service. It was powerful. I personally had not seen anything like that since I was part of the Pittsburgh 2000 event that was at the Civic Arena. And
Hmm.
I can't remember an event of that magnitude for that very same purpose happening since then.
I see. Nikki, tell the audience here how you got started in music.
Oh my goodness. I come from a musical family. So
Okay.
it's kind of like, other families, sports is their thing. Everybody plays a sport. Other families, they have a different talent. In my family, the dominant talent is music. And so from the time I was a little girl, just remembering music always being in my household. My dad is a musician. He currently sings with the Marcells. Down through the years,
Oh, wow. That's great.
yeah, he's played an African drum band. He had growing up. They had a band like a 70s band in my house practicing where my cousin was the lead singer, and so there was keys, bass, drums, percussion in our house. And I was supposed to be in the bed, but I'd be up listening through the vent, listening to rehearsal, just wishing I was on that lead mic. And so when they would not be there, I'd get on the instruments, I'd play the keys, I'd play the drums, we'd sing in the microphone, my sister and I. But it's really funny that both my mom and my dad were singing in groups, when they were younger. My mom, her sisters, there's a large number of siblings in that family. She and her sisters used to be a part of the Smith sisters. This is all in Westmoreland County. And so they would kind of be on the
Wow.
circuit singing. And then my dad would be singing with doo-wop groups. He came up in Denora. And so that's how they ended up meeting because of their two groups doing music. So that is just in my genes. We have family that we would visit in Philadelphia, and every year, when you go to the Philadelphia family's household, you'd be up singing, and we'd rotate. But like, who would get on the keys? Who would get on the drums? It's still like that. And in addition to that, I mean, we all have professional music careers or are in ministry. And so it's like when we get together, it's a musical reunion. So I just remember growing up like that and then launching out on my own, started singing solos in church. I was young, I would say 7 or 8. We were singing in children's choir. I'm a product of children's choir, growing up in the youth choir and then
Oh,
in the adult
absolutely.
choir, starting my own choirs, singing on my own as a recording artist. Is just, that to me, it's a childhood memory. Music is a childhood memory.
That's great. One other thing I wanted to ask you: when did you get started at Eastminster Presbyterian Church, and how did you get started?
It's so cool. I'm coming up on 18 years. The 24th of this month will be 18 years that I've been on staff full time. And I was actually involved with Eastminster prior to being hired full time. So Wayne Younger, he is now the executive director of Open Hand Ministries, but people may not know that Wayne is a supremely talented singer. And my previous job, Family Guidance, I was the director of operations and development, and Wayne was a mentoring supervisor. And once I learned of Wayne's talent, I heard his voice one day in devotions. I was like, hey, you ought to come sing with me. I have my own band called True Worship and Praise, and I invited Wayne to come sing with me. So from that connection, Wayne was part-time worship leader at Eastminster. I don't know how many years, but it was before I got there. So sometimes he would have me come fill in on keys. This was even before Pastor Paul Roberts got there. This is when there
Wow.
was an interim
Whoa.
pastor. Yes, it was an interim pastor. So I would come and kind of be in the rotation to play keys. I would sing. And then I took a job as minister of music at Emmanuel Baptist Church, which meant I couldn't do the Eastminster early service because I used to do that early service before going to my home church. I couldn't do that anymore. It was 2 or 3 years. And then Wayne, Eastminster wanted to create a full-time position of worship leadership in a contemporary setting, and be a bridge between, at that time, Eastminster had a traditional service and a separate contemporary service. So Wayne was only leading worship at the contemporary service. So the leadership said they wanted to make this position full time. That's not really the direction that Wayne was wanting to go. He felt called a different direction. So he recommended that once Pastor Paul came on board, he recommended that Pastor Paul Roberts and Ted Melnick talk to me, which they did. And so I interviewed with them a couple times, and the rest is history. I felt also a call to go into cross cultural ministry. So it was already tugging at my heart, and it just was confirmed whenever I visited with them and met with them that I was supposed to come on board. And so it's been 18 years, and I'm still loving the
There you
people of
are.
Eastminster.
Oh
Yeah.
yes, you're still going, and it's great. It's super duper. You
Thank
do a
you.
great job with the music at Eastminster. All
Thank
right,
you.
we're here at the Way I See It tonight. It's Monday, the usual 7 o'clock start time tonight. My special guest is Reverend Nikki Porter, music minister at Eastminster Presbyterian Church in East Liberty. Reverend Nikki, tell the audience about your trips to Italy. I know you started helping them with music and things like that, and brought them here to Pittsburgh. It was a great
Yes,
thing when they were here. I PowerPointed the event, and I
you
really
sure
enjoyed
did.
it. It was so nice to have them folks here from Italy. And
Thank
can you tell the audience a little bit how that went and what was
Sure.
and how it is now?
Sure. I have a whole gospel family over in Italy. And if I share this with them, I would just want to say ciao to all of them. Just love them so much. I started going in 2014. I'm part of a teaching team, and three of us
Hmm.
teachers are here in Pittsburgh. And the other two at the time were from Cleveland. It changes off and on, but I've enjoyed the whole experience, just teaching at a gospel conference where people from all over Italy come together to, it's like a family reunion, to learn with each other, um, reconnect, sing songs from down through the years. This year is actually going to be the 20th anniversary. So it's going to be a really super special
That's
celebration.
great.
Um, it it draws, upwards of 350 people, maybe 400. So we have this mass choir, you have this huge stage, you have musicians, you have, a week of learning where each of the teacher will teach 2 or 3 different songs, and we do vocal technique, and we do, the history of gospel music and learning to be a soloist and a choir director. These choirs are gospel choirs throughout Italy, and I think, especially as an African American, to see Europeans who have adapted gospel music as their own. It just blows my mind. I love it. I love seeing what they do. It's so fun. It's so real. And gospel music is a major form of music there. So I have the opportunity to do that every year. And prior to that, I had the opportunity to tour years before that, where I was with the Golden Gospel Singers, and that European tour ended in Italy, and that was my first time in Italy. And I just kind of had a sense to know that I'd be back, and so that was Northern Italy, and the workshops have taken place. The Gospel Connection during my time with them has taken place between Assisi and Rome. And so it's really cool to spend that time learning all forms of gospel music. I mean, from traditional, spirituals to contemporary to some of our original stuff. We've taught very urban, contemporary, just all across the board, and then we present that in the concert on the closing night. We have like a panel discussion where the audience
Wow.
can ask us. Yeah, there's a spiritual night where Pastor Keith Moncrief prays for everybody. We have
Oh,
worship
that's
time.
Keith. Yeah.
It's like a gospel party where all of the choirs and groups they showcase their stuff. It just blows my mind. As you can tell, I really love it. I love them, and I'm excited to be going back in November.
Comment section wide open tonight on the way I see it as usual. And my special guest is the Reverend Nikki Porter, music minister at Eastminster Presbyterian Church in East Liberty. Nikki, what's your thoughts on the new live stream thing that's going on right now? It seems like a lot of churches now are getting into that.
Yeah, I think it's a necessary evil almost. When we were shut down, not just Eastminster, but churches, across the world. In fact, many friends from Italy they were leading me, I think, in understanding how COVID was affecting the world. And I say that because, as the COVID-19 pandemic migrated from Asia into Europe, we got the after effects of that. And so they were telling us, hey, our churches are shut down. Um, and we're going streaming if we can, with one Roman Catholic in Italy, right? And so one priest, and they'd be doing the masses and sharing those via live stream. And I just couldn't understand it. And they were telling me, wear your mask. This was before the US government was even talking about wearing masks. They said, you're too much in public. You have to wear your mask. So I started masking up. And then they were saying, you have to be able to lead service from virtual means. And I didn't get it until it hit us. So I had to learn quickly, very, very quickly. I bought my own. I see your USB mic there. I'm not using mine tonight, but I bought my own. I bought my own equipment. I have lighting at my
It
house.
was so funny the first service, Nikki. I don't mean to interrupt, but it was so funny the
Okay.
first service. It was you on the piano, it was Pastor Paul, and then it was Nemesio at his house, and it was like
Hmm.
it was interesting about how the church actually pulled all that together to really get it going. And then now I think we're the leaders of doing it. I believe I probably
Yeah,
would
you're
say we
totally
are.
right. I mean,
You know.
we went from having no streaming meets at the church whatsoever, to, like you said, being on Zoom from our house. And so people had to learn Zoom. I did know Zoom some, but people had to learn. I really got really good at it, hosting meetings and doing. I got really good at all of it and connecting my equipment. So what we did from our homes, Sunday worship
Hmm.
service. We did a Christmas sing along from our homes. I mean,
Right.
I did rehearsals, children's choir, youth praise band.
We did
Um,
the talent show, and I told jokes from Ocean City. Remember that one
yeah,
in
that's right. We did the
2020?
virtual,
Yeah,
we did
I
the
was in
virtual
Ocean
talent
City
show.
telling jokes on Zoom. Yeah, there we
Yeah, and
go.
speaking of Italy, we even did Italy. We did a virtual conference, and it was a one night type worship thing. We did it on Facebook Live. I mean, everybody just did what you
Mhm.
had to do. I did conferences, concerts from my living room. My living room became my studio, and down here is my this is my family space, my at home office. I did many of interviews and meetings right from here. You have to know how to do this now. We are forever changed. Like you said, at Eastminster, we went from having zero to having a whole production suite, a whole production team, which you're a part of, where we have
Yes.
4 cameras in operation and the capability to do more. whole network just for, audio and visual. So we have done what is necessary to stay alive, to stay afloat, because people are streaming. People want to be able to tune in. Not everybody's coming through the doors. Some people,
Right.
are still afraid. What if it's not COVID? It's monkeypox. If it's not monkeypox, it's
Yeah,
something else.
exactly. Hmm.
Communicable diseases. So I think that this is the way of today and the future, that we have to be able to go into people's living rooms, their televisions, their iPhones, their iPads, or whatever it is. We have to be able to bring the service to them. And so it's I say it's a necessary evil because it eats through your budget like, oh my gosh,
Yeah,
like
it
Pac-Man,
does.
going back old school, Pac-Man just eating up the pellets.
You're doing,
That,
yeah, there you go.
it
Yeah.
eats up your budget, but it's a
Oh
necessary
yeah.
evil because you've got to be able to reach the world. And then I have friends from Italy, Japan, Vietnam saying, we're able to watch you. We're able to. And speaking of going back to Italian friends, you said about them coming to the United States, right? Which they did in 2019. This was all before the pandemic. So they have been to our church, just a delegation of them, and they were able to, during the pandemic, watch the church live, and not just ours. They could tune into Mount Ararat to see the other teacher, Trinity Massey, Pastor Keith Moncrief's church went online. All of our churches, they could see us. They had been there and they could watch us live stream. It was really incredible. And it's the way of today. You have to be able to do
Yes.
it.
Absolutely. It was interesting during COVID how a lot of these churches had like uh, movie theater or drive-in theater type hookups, and they were
Oh,
doing
yeah.
all that stuff. That was real
Yeah.
interesting. It was nice to see the churches getting together and doing something just to keep everything going for everybody, and
Yeah.
that was great. And I think we pioneered it. I believe it in
Yeah.
Pittsburgh. I think we did. I really do.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Praise God for that. And I know
So
we didn't necessarily, Eastminster didn't do the drive-in, but I attended a couple, and it's just phenomenal. Like, you do what you have to do to make it work. And so I think
you do
pastors
what you
had to
have to do to get the word out there, and that's
exactly
the interesting
ministers of
thing is.
music had to adapt. We were recording for a while with nobody in the sanctuary, and I know a lot of sanctuaries were doing that. A lot of churches were doing that. So you had to appeal to the camera as if it were the congregation. Just adaptation is the key word.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Nikki, I appreciate you being on tonight. Thank you so much for coming on
it's a
and sharing this with
pleasure.
us. Noel from Noel here on the comments says, "Hey Nikki," and then says, "Hello, Ralph." And so
I
Noel's a
know.
steady watcher of the show, and so there we are. Reverend Nikki, thank you for being on, and I will see you Sunday. And have a great day, and be safe. All right.
Thank you.
Thank
You
you.
too. Stay well.
Uh,
Take care.
Bye bye.
Bye.
All right, that was Reverend Nikki Porter from Eastminster Presbyterian Church. We just did a nice interview with her. She was on talking about music ministry, praise, and the church as well, and her tours to Italy and her life story about her family. It was a great interview, I think. As we continue on here, the way I see it, we're here every Monday night, 7 p.m. I am Ralph Williams. We're live here in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and also don't forget the way I see a TV show if you live in the Pittsburgh area, Allegheny County, channel 21, Comcast 47, Verizon Cable. The way I see it is on a rotating basis on PCTV. And also don't forget every Saturday at 5 p.m. on PCTV Sports Corner with myself and Smoking Jim Frazier. We have a lot to talk about tomorrow on Sports Corner. All right, but let's get into our segment, Chinese wisdom. It says hard work is always appreciated. So that is tonight's Chinese wisdom. Hard work is always appreciated. And you know what? I've learned this over the years, everybody, and it's really an interesting thing that if you do work hard and you treat people right, you will be blessed with success in a good way, in a great way. All right. But the interesting thing is we have people out here, and you're probably saying to yourself, well, I know people who don't work hard and who aren't nice and they're successful and everything else. But you know what? Sometimes that's the way it goes. That's the way the ball bounces. That's the way the cards are dealt. And, things like that can happen and will happen if you let it. All right. Tonight, next is our blast segment brought to you by Robin Campbell Insurance. Robin Campbell's Farmers Insurance. He's one of our sponsors of our show. Give him a call today, 412-366-3399. He will come to your house. He will to see you about insurance if you need him to come to your house. Also, he has life, auto, home, and also car insurance. So don't forget to call Robin today, 412-366-3399. All right, our blast segment. First, we're going to get started with the Steelers. Absolutely. We have to today. And I'm going to tell you why I'm blasting the Steelers today. All right, it has nothing to do with play. We'll deal with that tomorrow. It has nothing to do with training camp. We'll deal with that tomorrow as well. All right. I'm blasting the Steelers on this program tonight because of their fighting with the Sports and Exhibition Authority. They're fighting now again because they want money now to fix the big scoreboard. Okay? And the Sports and Exhibition Authority, along with the RAD Board, which is a regional asset district, had given them money that comes from a tax. Okay? And that money that comes from this tax is to fix Acrisure Stadium. All right? Now, Art Rooney II has said, and I quote, that the money he's going to make now from Acrisure Stadium is going to go into fixing Acrisure Stadium. Okay? Well, what do you call this, Art II? What do you call this? This is called fixing. All right? So fix the scoreboard. All right? And don't go to the Sports and Exhibition Authority crying and complaining that you need more money. Look, they already gave you money. They gave you money to put up another scoreboard and to add extra seating. Okay? So, and that was a challenge for you. And I understand that. But it's going to continue to be a challenge because not only does the RAD Board, but the Sports and Exhibition Authority, they don't want to give you any more money, Art II. They really do not. All right? So my thinking is to you, is take that money that you got, all that money that you got from Acrisure Stadium, all right, and start using it to fix what you need to fix and leave them alone. Because if you don't, you're going to have the same situation that the Pirates have. And that is that they now have to raise their ticket prices $1 all the way through until the money's paid off that's owed to them to fix PNC Park. And that is the way I see it tonight. Next, we're going to blast the CDC. Then you know what? I'm getting real tired of the CDC because see here, the CDC did, and President Trump back when COVID started, it continues to go this way. And stop doing it, okay? And what I'm saying to you about stop doing it is, I mean, quit doing it altogether. If you're going to make a law and you're going to make policy, make it stick across the country. Don't come out with a policy that says, well, in all schools, we want you to wear masks. But then you go and say to the school district, you make your own rules. All right? So then don't make the law. Don't say anything at all. Keep your mouth shut. All right? Fossey, Levine, keep your mouth shut down there. Okay? Because you know what? When you open your mouth, you stick your foot in it. And this is a prime example of what I'm saying. And that's why I'm blasting the CDC tonight. And that's the way I see it. Next, the PA Turnpike. Oh, here we go. Another ongoing story with the PA Turnpike. What are they doing? Raising the fees again. The tolls are going up again. It's going to cost you more money to travel again. Okay? So here we are once again blasting the PA Turnpike because now they're going to raise the tolls at the beginning of the year or sometime this fall because they're struggling yet again. Okay? And they're going to continue to struggle again. All right? Do you see what I'm getting at? Because this is just unbelievable. Oh, no. It continues to go on, and I've had enough. And that's why I'm blasting the PA Turnpike tonight. And that is the way I see it. Next, it just continues, doesn't it? It just continues. And I have to continue to blast you because you continue to do it, abusing animals. Okay. The Animal Rescue League, or Humane Animal Rescue League, and all the other shelters across the Commonwealth have said, and I quote, if you can't take care of the dog, or the animal, give it to somebody who can. It seems like no one, it seems like no one uh, really wants to listen to that. And they continue to abuse these animals. And you know what? I've had enough. I really, you know what? You ought to be ashamed of yourself if you are abusing these animals, like leaving them in a house that's filthy, leaving them with no food and water. What's wrong with you? How would you like it if somebody did that to you? Okay. And tonight, leading out of blast into give you something to think about. How about think about that? How about thinking about what would happen if I or someone abused you like you abused an animal? Okay. And I'm not saying everybody out there abuses animals. I'm not saying that. But those of you who do, how would you like it if I abused you like that? Okay. No food, no water, leave you out in the hot heat, leave you out in the cold, chained up, okay, for days, weeks, months. All right. Leave you in a filthy environment. Yeah. Think about that. I'm going to give you something to think about tonight in that segment. And that leads right into that. All right. And next, we got our boneheads. All right. Here we go. I'm not even going to call it bonehead anymore. It's boneheads because it's always two. All right. And the comment section, PA Turnpike always wins. Yes, they do. You know, you ever heard the old song, I fought the law and the law won? Well, guess what? You can't fight the turnpike because the turnpike's going to win anyway. All right. Bonehead segments brought to you by DJ Fun. Call DJ Fun today, 412-545-4317. And for all your DJ needs around Western Pennsylvania, 412-545-4317. DJ Fun has over 10 years of experience in doing parties, special events, weddings, and any kind of an event that requires a DJ, and he knows how to do it. So call DJ Fun today for all your DJ needs. Hurry up. Dates are booking fast. So please hurry and give him a call immediately. That number again, 412-545-4317. All right, our boneheads. The person who tried to bring marijuana cannabis through TSA by stuffing it in peanut butter. All right. I mean, I'm talking really. I mean, it's not funny, but I'm laughing because it is funny because I'm laughing at you for trying to do this because you're such a bonehead that you went ahead and decided to try to sneak cannabis through inside peanut butter through TSA. So what's next? You want to bring guns in, you want to bring knives in, okay? But this bonehead really tried to do that here at Pittsburgh International. And when are you going to learn? Okay? And here, the next bonehead, the person who just recently tried to bring a gun through Pittsburgh International. Why is it that we lead the nation in TSA confiscating guns? You know, that's embarrassing. I mean, New York don't even lead that. Atlanta, none of the Chicago's two airports, Washington's two airports don't even come nowhere close. But we lead the nation in people attempting to bring guns through TSA. And let me tell you something. For somebody who has been through the TSA, okay, and has had, a rough experience, they do their job thoroughly. Trust me when I tell you that. They really do. And I refuse to travel because of it by an airplane, at least in that perspective. And that was tonight's Boneheads. Tonight's Boneheads was brought to you by, again, DJ Fun, 412-545-4317. Call DJ Fun today if you need a DJ for any kind of an event, party, wedding, special events, any kind of an event requiring a DJ. All right. I'm going to talk about my life story tonight. Last week wasn't too bad. I did a few things. We had a TV show taping, myself and Smoking Jim over at the TV station over on the north side, which went well. I did The Way I See It. Smoking Jim joined me later on for Sports Corner. And also, back with Peter Blake on Wednesday nights, which is great. Those of you who don't know, I do a wrestling talk show with Peter Blake. It's called The Sports Web. He starts at 9 p.m. and on Wednesdays. And I talk sports for the first hour and a half. And then at 10:30, we do something called Turnbuckle Talk. And that's with myself, Peter Blake, and Mark Mancini from Los Angeles, California, who also is my producer for my Thursday night wrestling show, called Wrestle Talk, and that's on Blog Talk Radio, 347-205-9631. Every Thursday night, we talk professional wrestling. We're on 45 minutes now. You wanted it, you got it. You asked for it, you got it. 45 minutes, and that's where we're at with that right now. We went from 30 to 45. We have a lot of. You wanted it every week. We're giving it to you every week now. So now you know what? I love it when the fans say, "I want you to go on an extra 15 minutes." It makes me feel great that there are a lot of people out there actually listening to the show on Blog Talk Radio. And to listen to it once again, 347-205-9631. All right. Also, I went to BJ's Wholesale last Wednesday, and I got to tell you, BJ's isn't a bad place. Of course, it's new, so it's clean. The prices are probably a little bit lower than Sam's Club, and the membership was only $35. So I don't have a problem with BJ's Wholesale Club. Went there, bought a few things, checked it out, see what it was all about. They had a nicer variety of stuff that you normally don't see at Sam's Club. But places like this and Costco and Sam's Club, they all have different things. They all have different brands. They all have their own brands. It's pretty much the same. Some of them have more than others. Some cost more than others. It all depends on what you want to do, but we decided to take a look at BJ's, and it was great. Now, I want to compliment, because before we went to BJ's, we stopped at the Texas Roadhouse in Bridgeville, okay? And I got to tell you, this is a really nice idea for a restaurant. A lot of restaurants don't do this. They actually have somebody that stands right out there and immediately busses the tables. Okay, you don't see that in in too many restaurants at all. And I got to give management kudos for that, because not only was the staff nice, but also the fact that they keep the tables extraordinarily clean by having a bus person stand there, and then what they do is they stand there with the bus pan, and then they bust the tables as soon as everyone gets up, which means the server doesn't have to do it, which means, the tables don't look, disgusting, so, and they sweep up around the area to make sure it's clean. So do you see what I'm saying? I don't know if this is because of COVID or or whatever, but I do know one thing. I was very appreciative of the fact that they were able to do that. And when I saw that, I see, that's really nice. That is nice how they do that as well. But anyway, where there's nice, there's ignorant. All right. There's ignorance everywhere. This whole country is nothing but about ignorance anymore. Nobody wants to be nice to nobody. Nobody wants to sit and talk with nobody. Nobody wants to work things out without shooting somebody. It's just really unbelievable. But I got to say, I was at the Eaton Park at the Mills last Thursday. And, last Tuesday. All right. And I'm at the Eaton Park at the Mills. And this server, we come in, sit down in the cafe. You don't have to wait to be seated at the cafe part, all right, in the Mills Eaton Park, excuse me. And so what you have to do is you go and you just sit down. And it's also closest to the door where the handicap parking is. So I'm going in. My wife and I were going in to sit down. Had to meet some people there. And the server comes up and goes, "Are you eating here?" And I almost did this. I almost did this, but I really didn't want to. But I was going to. No, I'm just here for my health. Okay? That is exactly what I was going to say to this woman. "Are you eating here?" No, I come in to sit down and just hang out at Eaton Park because that's exactly what I want to do. No, I was there to meet somebody. No, I was there to eat. Okay? So that happened. Then later on, the people I was meeting there, they left because they had to go home because their grandkids were coming over. This was sort of a last minute thing, but the grandkids were coming over, and grandparents, they love to see their grandkids. So they left, and the server comes up to my wife and goes, "Well, can I get your order?" And she stands 10 feet away from my wife. Okay, I'm talking where the table is. She stands about 10 feet away from my wife to take her order. Okay. So here we are. Twice we got treated ignorant by the same service. So I pulled the manager over and I says, you know something? I says, I come here quite often to eat. I have, some business clients I meet here and I have some things and I always come here. I mean, if I have to meet somebody out this way, friends or whatever, and I need to meet them at an Eaton Park, it's definitely not going to be here if your servers are going to continue to act like this. And in case a lot of you are not aware, and if you see me at a restaurant or you see me out and about, my wife and I combined have about 70 years of experience in customer service between the two of us. So please don't try to sit there and tell me you did something different when you didn't. Okay. One other thing I want to compliment is the Arby's on Baum Boulevard. I don't know if you noticed or not. I brought this up about a month ago in one of my shows here on the way I see it. That Arby's had put up a little sign there at the one on Baum Boulevard that says tips welcome. Well, I found out yesterday, and this happens in this business because I was once in it, the fast food business, more or less, okay, is that corporate will come in once in a while when they see a place that's doing bad or has employees that are getting out of control or they decide to transfer a manager. Corporate will come in and try to refix up the restaurant. Well, it turns out that's what this corporate manager was there for, who brought my food out to the spot because I had to pull over to let them bring my food out. And when I stopped by after church, pick up some stuff at Arby's, and I tried those fish hush puppies. Them things were good. So if you ever want to go there and get those. But anyway, so I pull up, manager comes out. I says, I see the tip sign came down off the window. He said, oh, yeah. He said, we got floods of email at corporate about that. So that's why the corporate supervisor was there to clean it up. Okay. I thought that was tacky and I thought that was very unprofessional. And there are already fast food places are paying anywhere from $12 to $15 an hour or more, depending on where you live. Okay. That's, I mean, there's no excuse for that at all. I understand people are struggling out there and you shouldn't be struggling if you want to work. You shouldn't be struggling because I've said this many times. There's a ton of jobs out there. It's pretty bad when Port Authority can't even get jobs covered here. And that's the best job in town, working for Port Authority almost. Okay? Where else are you going to go where you're going to get trained? Not only just to drive the bus, you're going to get your CDL training. You're going to get exclusive training and you get paid. Listen to this. You get paid almost $20 an hour you start out at $20 an hour. Your training pays about $15 an hour and benefits. Can you believe that? But I don't want to work weekends. I don't want to work on holidays.
Oh no.
I want to make money, but I don't want to work. Yeah. You know something? There's too many of that going on right now. And it's been going on for a while. And I hope it stops. I really do. I really hope it stops for right now, because if it doesn't, we're going to have big time problems in this country for a long time. But it has to end. Okay? It has to end. People have to start getting up and going out and looking for work. This is the only inflation, everybody, that I have never seen in my life that had jobs available everywhere. Okay? All right? All right. Sheets and New Stanton sold the $206.9 million Powerball ticket. Wonderful. Great. Good for Sheets. I'm glad it sold that ticket. That's the way I see it tonight. Democrats want to hire 87,000 new IRS workers. Really? Really? They are really going to go after everybody for every cent they can get from you from the IRS. They are. They're hiring all those agents, 87,000 they want to hire within the next 3 years to go after everybody for their taxes. And then the Democrats are out there saying they want to go after the corporations for what they don't pay. All right. Now, see, here's what doesn't make any sense to me, and I am a Democrat, but here's what really doesn't make any sense to me. Why would you go after the people who create jobs? Okay. And this is why Pittsburgh has a problem bringing corporations in here. It's because they have such a high tax base for corporate tax that it's out of control. Well, I heard a report today, and I don't think it's true. I really don't. Somebody's lying here because I just don't see it. Okay, you could say something, but you know what they say: actions speak louder than words. Pictures speak louder than words too. I mean, you actually have to see it to believe it. All right. They're saying that Pittsburgh is number 7 in the country for the lowest corporation tax. If that's the case, then why are people moving out of here? Why are corporations going bye-byes? Explain that to me. And if someone can explain that, that's a corporate person that can say that to me, I want to know. Why would you be moving out of the city if the corporation, the corporate gains tax is supposed to be the 7th lowest in the country? Explain that to me once. I want to know. I really do. All right. If you're a financial person that's interested in doing an interview with me, reach out to my email. All right. So if you watch and listen to my shows, you know my email. Okay. Or reach out to me on Facebook, on my Facebook page. All right. And I'll get you, or reach out here in the comments section. I'll get you on. Because I want to know, and my audience wants to know, where in the world do you justify Pittsburgh being number 7 in corporation? And I mean, I'm talking corporate gains tax in the entire nation when we're losing corporations. All right. I mean, we're losing them. If they were here, they would have been able to buy and pay for their sponsorship of Heinz Field. Okay. Excuse me. All right. Their sponsorship of Heinz Field, and then we wouldn't all be going ballistic because it's Acrisure Stadium. Everybody's upset. It's Acrisure Stadium. Terrible. All right. That's the way I see it tonight. John Fetterman, my man, Big John, is out there campaigning. He just started right before the primary. John suffered a stroke and some kind of an aneurysm or something. He had some kind of health issues. And he's been resting and relaxing. His wife's been out there helping him, Giselle. She's been out there at making campaign stops. And now his first appearance will be this weekend in Erie, one of my second cities. I love Erie. It needs some fine tuning. Their airport needs some help if they want to become a successful city. It all revolves around certain things: airport, taxes, things like that. If you want a corporation to open up and create jobs and everything else, that's where it starts, right there. All right, next. That's the way I see it tonight. Studies suggest that more public restrooms are needed in downtown. Now, this comes from a professor or some kind of student survey or some kind of a think tank or group or something that says from Point Park University, all right, that they need more public restrooms down in downtown Pittsburgh. That's probably the case. And they're saying that more people wouldn't defecate. They wouldn't do what they're doing down there. They wouldn't urinate and all that in front of people and do what they do down there if there were more public restrooms. Well, first of all right, you can have public restrooms. You can have porta potties. You can have whatever you're going to have down there. If somebody's going to do it, they're going to do it. Okay. And it all boils down to lack of policing downtown. That's what it boils down to. Okay. Pittsburgh should be flooded with police downtown. All right. There was talk once from our former mayor, Billy P. Peduto, that, he was supposed to put 50 cops downtown, 50 cops on the south side, plus a police station. Never happened. And it don't look like Mayor Gainey's going to do it. All right. Because we're worried about plastic bags. That's what we're worried about. We have decrepit bridges. We have homelessness. We have all this other stuff going on, crime, shootings, and we're worried about plastic bags. Okay? We're worried about telling the police that they can't pull anybody over for a traffic stop. We're worried about that too. All right? Which, believe it or not, in a survey that was taken across the country, and this is a fact now, that actually help solve a lot of crimes. So go ahead, Ricky Burgess. Go ahead, all you folks that are sitting there going, well, the police they pull over the African American man on a traffic stop deliberately and because of him being African American. No, because there was smoke coming out of your vehicle and smells like pot. Smells like crack. You were drinking and driving. You're driving your car without tail lights. Okay. Do you know how much money the city would make if they started doing that again? Pulling these people over? But somebody in their infinite wisdom, and I don't know who it was, decided to stop doing that. So now everybody gets away with it. And I got a guy that lives here in my building who has a motorcycle. It's not inspected. It doesn't have insurance on it, and the plate's expired. And I've been trying for months to get it ticketed and towed, and guess what? I can't get no results. I get nothing. But the city wants everybody, and we spoke about this a few times on a few of the broadcast here, on the way I see it. They want people to help the police. Aliquippa does it. Elizabeth does it. Some other towns have done it. And they're starting to do it because they're taking that example because they've had enough. But Pittsburgh won't do it. These people in this town, they're afraid to blow their own nose. Okay? People in Pittsburgh here are afraid to blow their own nose, let alone to try to even think about even helping the police out. Okay? And no use helping them because they won't do anything. So what's the use of trying to help them? Okay? When I need them to get rid of a tenant that caused me problems, they can't do it. All right? And I've said this many times. Somebody could get robbed right in front of a police officer, and the officer would say, "Call 911, I can't do nothing." That's what goes on here. At least that's what I've experienced. Okay? And maybe I'm wrong. All right? But if someone would come on here right now and tell me something different about Pittsburgh police, you let me know. Okay? All right? You let me know. All right? It's the way I see it tonight. All right, National Farmers Market Week. Well, that's great. Every week, the news seems to come up with these different weeks, and I wonder if they make this up. Now, this week it's National Farmers Week, National Fart Week, National whatever week, okay? And I'm wondering if this is all made up just to get somebody's attention on something. Because I just don't, it's not marked on calendars. It's not put out there heavy duty. Okay? That's the way I see it tonight on that. Congratulations to Tony Norman. Tony Norman was a reporter here in Pittsburgh for the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette, 37 years. He just retired. Congrats to Tony Norman. I wish you good luck on your retirement, and that's the way I see it tonight. Next, General Mills. Now listen to this. General Mills is bringing back old 80s cereals. Frankenberry, Lucky Charms, Boo Berry, and they're bringing back that Monster one too. They're bringing all four of them back by popular demand, they say. Well, these are because you got folks like us, the baby boomers from the 80s or whatever, or some of us who were in the 80s that used to eat that cereal. And, they loved it and they took it off because of lack of sales. Now it's picking back up because now these current parents, now some of them are giving their kids excessive sugar, and good for them. I mean, that's great if that's what they like, and that's the way I see it. Joey Chestnut, my man. I love Joey Chestnut. Yeah. Joey Chestnut has just won another eating contest. He broke the world's record for the most mini donuts. He ate 255 of them in 8 minutes. He broke the world's record. This guy is a professional eating machine. He eats hot dogs. When I watched the Nathan's hot dog eating contest last year, he was the week before that, he had just got done eating an all-you-can-eat pizza contest in New Orleans. He goes around the country and around the world, and he participates in these eating contests. He's a professional eater. He's just goes to these contests and he wins them. He breaks world records. He's got the highest rate of world record breaking of them all. All right, tonight we're going to talk as we got about 10 minutes left in the show. We're going to talk a little bit about some key topics tonight. One of them is Washington Boulevard flooding. Okay, we had bad flooding this weekend, Washington Boulevard. The gates came down again. Okay. The Pittsburgh police is moving Zone 5 out of there. They've had enough. The training facility is going up the hill to the old Highland Drive VA, which the city got for $1 from the federal government. It was the old VA hospital up there. It's a huge facility. All right. It's going to be all their training, all their administrative city headquarters, all that stuff. They're taking it out of downtown and moving it up there. Okay. The city works, the public works garage, where they fix things, that's all going up there. The Pittsburgh police training, Zone 5 may go up there eventually in one of the buildings. Who knows? But what I'm saying to you is this: it's a big place. It's part of what we call the master plan. It's going to take a few years to get all the buildings ready for everything up there. But it's going to be sophisticated. It's going to be nice, neat. And they can train up there. All the divisions, the paramedics, the fire, the police, and all that can all train up there and everything. It's all going to be conducted up there on one site. It's going to be a big, huge complex. And that'll help a little bit. But you know what? If I'm a business on Washington Boulevard, I wouldn't have my business down there because every time you turn around, it gets flooded and they have to put the gates down. All right. But it's only in the portion that goes from NIKKI Run to Verona Road, or I'm sorry, Allegheny River Boulevard. Okay. That's the part that really is the tough part of this whole thing. Next, I want to talk about this issue, and I'm trying to get a couple reporters on, and they're not coming on because they either don't want to, they don't want to open their mouth, they don't want to be on here. I don't know. Maybe they don't like me, and I don't care. Okay. I've been trying to get Brian Englert on here, the president of the Jail Guards Union, but due to scheduling conflicts, I've been unable to get him on here. I want somebody to explain to me why we have to downsize our jail. Okay. They're talking about downsizing this jail down to from what they have 2,000 beds now because they claim they're only using 1,600 beds. Well, first of all, you moved a lot of your prisoners out because of COVID. Some of them were so sick they had to go to the hospital for COVID and then got released from there. Okay. So that's one of the reasons. And another reason is because police aren't arresting people because we don't let them. Okay. That's why the jail is not at full capacity. All right. I would rather have a jail that that has too many beds than not enough, because then you're going to have to find a place to put these people. Then it's going to get overcrowded. They're going to be sleeping in gyms and things like that. And then you're going to have that problem again. Okay. I saw that problem years ago. We had prisoners at the jail. We had them we had an annex jail that we made out of an office building, and that still wasn't enough. We had to put people up at the old public safety building on First Avenue. Okay. So when the new jail was built, everybody was all happy and hunky-dory because it's one building to put everybody in. All right. But now they're saying between the women and the men and the real bad juveniles that they put down there, there's only 1,600 beds being filled or cells or whatever. So now it's because nobody's arresting anybody. The police, either they don't have enough manpower to arrest or they're not arresting these people. And these judges are putting people out on the street that shouldn't be there. Okay? That's why you don't have enough people at the jail. All right? You put somebody in jail and you put a low bond on them when you should put a higher bond on them. And here we are. They're back out on the street causing more problems. Okay? All right. My next topic is here. We got about 6 minutes left in the show. Is what to do with juvenile offenders. All right. Now the police have finally, after all this time, the Schumann Center's been closed and the county's been told, and they won't do anything, which of course is usual. All right. What are you going to do with these kids that cause problems? They have to, the judges are saying now that they have to send these kids into the custody of their parents because there's no room and no juvenile facilities in the state to put them. They're out of room. Okay. Okay. So here we are. I have a suggestion. But if I know the county, they won't take my suggestion because they think they know it all. Okay. And it starts at the top. All right. They think they know it all. All right. Here's what you do. You take the 500 beds and you make a separate section. You fix the jail, but make one big section for juveniles, all the juveniles. And then you have the juveniles on one side and you have the adults on the other side. Everybody's in one building and you can contain them. You don't have a separate second building. You don't need to worry about overcrowding. You can just put everybody in there in one building. Fix it up and make it nice enough, like for the mental facilities you want to do. The medical facilities have always been a problem. Or expand the jail. You have space. Okay, expand it. All right. You have room to work with it there. Why don't you do that? All right. But no, you want to build a new jail. You want to make it with less beds. And you want to be able to not keep people in jail. Well, we're going to start programs. That's all I hear is programs. You know, programs don't always work. They don't. Okay. Comment section open. We have a couple minutes left here in the way I see it tonight. Programs. Okay. Forget about arresting people. Forget about putting people in jail. Forget about keeping people in jail. Forget about all that. All right. Yeah. Because if you're going to build a new jail, why would you build it for less? Improve the conditions there or improve what you want to improve, but don't condense the beds down because you never know when you'll need them. All right. Especially with the surge in violence. Okay. So there's your answer to your situation, Allegheny County, when it comes to the jail. Problem solved. Oh, I know what it is. You're upset because the union for the guards is complaining about their working conditions down there. Well, if you wouldn't make them so bad, people wouldn't complain. And now we got some more of these townships with what I call monkey see, monkey do. Okay? Copycat effect. All right? The ripple down effect, if you want to call it that as well. And what I mean by that is you now have these townships and counties and police departments and administrations in these little towns all walking away. They don't like the job market there. They don't like the supervisor there. They don't like the way so-and-so is a boss, but tells them they can only have a 15-minute lunch instead of a 30-minute lunch or an hour lunch. Oh, they won't let me go out and smoke my cigarette. They won't let me play on my cell phone. Oh, no, no, no. So instead, I hate these people and I quit my job. Oh, no. And then they're complaining because they can't pay their bills. Just like the Great Resignation. Remember that? That didn't last long, did it? No. But guess what? Ralph was wrong. No, I wasn't. I was right. Because you went somewhere else, you thought the grass was greener on the other side, and you got burned. Okay? And this is what's going on now with these townships and these small little communities and whatever that has decided that their employees are just going to start walking away now because they can, and they will, because they either don't want to work or somebody looked at them wrong, or somebody signed their paycheck wrong, or somebody did park their car in the wrong way wrong, or whatever. Okay? We live in a crying society. All we do is cry about everything. We cry about this, that, and whatever, but we're the cause of the problem. Okay? We cry about this. We cry about that, but we're the cause of the problem. Okay? Why is my pool not open? Because you got a criminal activity apartment complex directly behind it that the police are at fault for not cleaning it up. That tonight, everybody, is the way I see it. Everybody have a good night, and thank you for watching. I'll see you next Monday, 7 p.m. right here, live on YouTube and Facebook. Have a great night. Thank you.
Make more time.
Oh, no.